Welcome to the latest edition of the Spicy AI podcast, Control+Disrupt. I'm Mark Harrison.
And I'm Joanna Miller, and in this series we are diving into AI world with a special focus on O2C, credit, and the challenges leaders face.
We're here to ask the spicy questions others avoid, cutting through the hype, challenging assumptions, and exposing where AI helps and where it hurts. So, buckle up because this isn't just any other old podcast. It's bold, it's sharp, and yes, it comes with a Scoville rating. What have we got on the menu today, Joanna?
Today we are talking about AI sustainability myth.
The myth of sustainability, yeah? So,
Yeah.
as we always say, quoting The Sound of Music, that sounds a very good place to start at the very beginning. So what do we mean by this then? What do we mean by sustainability and what is the myth surrounding it?
So when we are talking about sustainability in the context of AI, that people usually think about green AI, so reducing the emissions, saving energy, and generally being responsible environmentally. But in fact, many of AI projects doesn't survive more than the pilot phase, which means that they do not deliver any business value. And this is really hard to call it sustainable, but still it is called so. Another thing when it comes to the myth around it is that you can call sustainable AI any AI project now that is either labeled as ethical or is running on the renewable energy, and then it is already considered sustainable. But well, in fact, it is not because, well, in my opinion, the sustainable is something that delivers the value that actually compensate the energy that is utilized to create it and the budget invested in that one. So that's the AI sustainability myth.
So we're really kind of talking about these huge data centers that are popping up everywhere, really, aren't they now? And
Mhm.
they need huge amounts of electricity or therefore huge amounts of water to create the electricity to create this. So this is where the sustainable myth really comes round, yeah?
Exactly, exactly. Because if you utilize all those resources and then there is no value out of the project, even, like you are testing something, some solutions, but you do not think at upfront what exactly you want to achieve. So what will success mean? And you do not exactly design and measure the impact. And later on, you don't have adoption, so nobody is using the AI tool. People continue to do things the old way. But so the energy, the entire computing power, resources, budget, people, everything is wasted. And actually sustainability is rather about reducing waste than creating it.
So
But
it's
even though like many AI projects are called sustainable or responsible innovation. Yeah.
okay. So it's another with most aspects of technology over the last few years, I found you kind of you fix one thing over here, but you create another problem over there. So so this is kind of perhaps another example of that. And you were saying about these pilots. I mean, is this
Mhm.
a in your experience and what you've been seeing and researching, are there is there like a high number of these pilots and that go nowhere? So they run for a year or whatever and then nothing comes of them.
Yeah, this is actually pretty large percentage of the AI projects never reaches the production or is abandoned. It's almost up to 80%. So this is huge.
Okay.
And yes, so the problem is huge, and there are a couple of reasons behind it. So either we implement AI to have AI, without knowing what model actually can do. We've been talking a lot about it. So we do not have ready data or the data infrastructure, because data readiness is another myth that we've been talking about already.
So, yeah.
So we are not prepared for AI implementation. We do not invest enough in our development to understand what gains are possible from what AI solution, and that's why those decisions that doesn't bring any results are still happening, and very frequent. Obviously, there is like a lot of good example of AI usage, but frankly, like the percentages says for itself. There is a lot that doesn't survive
And is
the stress test, let's say. Mm-hmm.
at this time then, is this situation, is this because companies don't really think about the environmental impact? Because ultimately that's what we're talking about. They're not aware of it, they're not penalized for it, or all of the above.
I think like almost everyone, like when you look at the percentage of AI that actually goes out of the pilot and survives, and the percentage of the companies that are claiming that they are sustainable, so probably you see discrepancy. So many of those companies are claiming to be sustainable. I believe it results from the lack of knowledge what sustainable actually means. Because, well, from we have like on one side the strategy for AI, try everything or take AI just for the sake to have AI, because we are pushed by the market to have AI strategy. And there is a huge pressure, and there is a competition pressure as well. But the challenge is that we are not treating AI like any other investment, because you do not implement or invest in the new ERP without knowing what you want to achieve. And before you pay for this ERP, before you invest, you calculate well so what you want to achieve. And many AI tools are just okay, so it will help us, Copilot will help us, and we don't think if we have data infrastructure, we just see the price of the tool, and this is the only consideration we take. And I think this is rather, lack of awareness. And as I said, you can nowadays you can call any AI innovation that is running on renewable energy, for example, well, the ecological production of electricity, then you can call it sustainable, in fact. But
It's another example, or could be that executives and so on are so wrapped up in thinking, oh, we can take 100 FTEs out of this because of AI and save X amount of money in FTEs, and not realizing they're probably paying more on electricity usage, or as you said, it's non-sustainable, which I would imagine in most major corporates now at some point will come back and bite them on the backside, because we're overlapping here also with ESG commitments as well. And very
yes.
much one of those is measuring your carbon footprint, right? And I guess
Mhm.
if this isn't yet already one of the measurable aspects that have to be delivered to governments or the European Union, or whoever, it's soon going to be, yes, because it's huge, isn't it?
It's huge. Actually, I was reading the example. So, like a training of the large AI model is releasing as much CO2 as 12 transatlantic flights.
Yeah.
So,
Period of time. You say the over every day, or
no, one training, let's say. So no, not that bad as far as I understood. I don't exactly know. Well, that was the example. It was meant the training. So you don't train every data model. You can fine tune it.
yeah.
So there is a lot of CO2 emission. And if you don't have additionally the business outcome out of this tool, so you wasted the resources totally. So this CO2 emission is for nothing. If that would at least improve cash flow or speed up credit, so there are some benefits. So you can tell you used it wisely. But if not, if that dies after, or it never goes out of the pilot phase, so what you can say
Do you
in
think,
this?
can you see a time, I was just thinking at the top of my head here based on what you were saying, that, when you buy a washing machine or a refrigerator, it has those labels on them now that say the
Consumption,
carbon.
yeah.
Yeah. Can you see the same, like, when you go to an AI service provider, you're going to have to do that, they are going to have to do something similar.
That's a good idea actually. So maybe maybe Mark, okay, that's the business idea
I'm going to
for
copyright
the
that. I'm going to
certification.
copyright that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, when I was
Yeah,
doing,
but
go on.
the key is to do it responsibly.
Yeah.
So we have AI, we don't buy it for the sake of AI. We need to understand AI, we need to understand the purpose, we need to understand the requirements. So we are coming back um, to education in the AI area. So what it takes to really get the most out of this tool.
This is a good point, isn't it? Because as we said earlier, you can always see easily the obvious cost savings. Oh, I could take 100 people out, right? That's easy to measure. But then if the utility costs and maybe even fines are greater than that, it's another false economy, right? So as you said, you got to, I think the purpose of what we're talking about here is not to provide the answers because we're not in a position to provide the answers, but at least it's
Exactly.
something really important to be aware of, right? And as I was doing my research on this, every time we do these podcasts, I'm learning like 20 new things every time. And I came across this phrase when I was researching this session, this phrase of greenwashing, right? Which I guess,
Ah.
yeah. In your research, have you come across this, and how would you explain it?
Yeah, for me, the greenwashing, AI greenwashing. So it is exactly when you implement AI, call it sustainable and put in the ESG report because you think it is sustainable for some unknown reason, like we said before, because this is ethical AI, for example. And this is exactly greenwashing. And this AI, in fact, didn't deliver any single business value in the company. So that's definitely greenwashing.
All
Mhm.
right. So the
It looks good in the ESG report.
Yeah, which looks nice for the investors and makes
Mhm.
everybody feel good, but the reality might be something very different. Yeah. It is an
So
interesting.
we need responsibility when it comes to AI implementation.
Yeah, it's all part of the same. I mean, pretty well everything we've done in these sessions we've done together, we've been talking about thinking about the wider picture, whether that's master data or whatever else, volume bias and all the rest of it. This is just another new aspect, and we mustn't lose sight of the fact that everything we're doing here really is it's all new, isn't it? And we're learning all the time as it goes along.
Yeah.
And this is something else that people probably haven't thought about, but it's another biggie that's going to get bigger and bigger. And another aspect, I was reading something on LinkedIn recently, I think it was, that the price of electricity has gone up in the last couple of years by 280% or something. And one of the key drivers of that is these huge data centers that are just absorbing electricity and water, as we said at the beginning, to drive that. So that must then have an impact on all of us. Utility prices are going up. That's nearly three times what I just said, which means that's also going to trickle down to you and me at home as well, right? I think we're already seeing this. So I'm sure there'll be other impacts that might come out of that as well. I did a post recently that I was saying I think rising utility costs are going to be one of the catalysts for people returning to work, right? As in, it's just going to get too blooming expensive to work at home. So I think in the next 5 years, I think that's very much going to be another another reason for the reduction in working from home, which
Yeah.
means that going back to the cost aspects and all this from a company's point of view, if the employees, at the minute employees, when they go for an interview, they say, "Oh, I want to spend 3 days or 4 days working from home." I can see in a few years' time that's going to reverse. They're going to say, "I'll work for you, but I want to be in the office at least 4 days a week," which means that then companies that have downsized their office space post-COVID are probably now going to have to go the other way and increase it again. So more costs, right? So it's.
Yeah, I was thinking about something else, Mark. So imagine that like okay, we have growing number of AI investments. Let's assume that they will be done responsibly in the future. But anyway, the energy usage will be growing. So imagine that it can okay. So now employees will want to go back to the office, but the companies, when they see like a joint cost of all AI tools, in the context of energy, and then employees, utilizing energy on site, utilizing, coffee machine, utilizing all and everything over there. You have like a monitors that display the results. So imagine that then employers may again ask employees to work from home.
But then they'd have to subsidize it this time because it would be more obvious,
Yeah, this
more
time.
cost again. So the kind of the domino effect of this is it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
interesting, isn't it? It's a very wide ranging. I mean, it cost of electricity also knocks on things like growing of food. If you're growing tomatoes in a huge greenhouse, they're heated by electricity. That means that they're going to cost more, etc., etc. Right? So when you and this is coming right back to the crux of what we're talking about, that sustainability, sustainable for who and for what and how, right? It's the warnings that we flagged up here are kind of saying there's a long way to go and we're nowhere near. However, I have seen quite a few articles and reports that the companies that are building these huge data centers are doing a lot of work on sustainables, like a lot of the power is going to come from solar energy and things like that. So,
And you going, yeah. The goal is that outside of this energy going from solar, outside of using the solar energy, the AI and all the tools must bring some outcomes. So then the real sustainability, and this is the trap. What you just said, that companies are doing sustainable things because they are using alternative sources of energy, but yet whatever energy source is, business outcome is the part of the sustainability as well. So
I mean, it's a long way. I mean, and I think in the context of the series that we're doing here, this is very timely piece that we're doing here. We talked all about the technical side of it in the previous episodes and things to
yeah.
look out for. This time we're looking at it from a more societal point of view, I think. And I think, but it all runs together. It's all part of the same package, really, isn't it? When you're going down this road, embarking on this, let's face it, it's a revolution. It is all very new, isn't it? Everything we do, we're learning all the time. So I think yeah, it's an interesting one that can run and run. And like we said, it's got ramifications all over. And we're going to see a lot more down this road as well, that's for sure. So I think that's great. Another good session. Thank you very much, Joanna.
Thank you for
Let's I think from our perspective, and of course, we're aiming this mainly at our credit order to cash audience, but it obviously applies to everybody. I think I think something that we all need to remember is that we all have a duty of care to the environment for ourselves now and for future generations. I think we're all kind of entitled, or indeed should be emboldened, to actually challenge and question our own company's environmental policies. It's like, the CFO will stand up on a town hall meeting and say, "We're going down this AI route," and everyone will go, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, that's terrific." And you go, Hang on a minute, what's the real cost, right? It's the society cost, right? And what are we doing to offset it? What's
hmm
our sustainability policy, right?" And I don't think anybody should be shy of actually asking that question because why not? No problem searching for efficiencies, but let's think about the costs, the wider context of the costs that go with that. So, Joanna, lovely session, brilliant,
Thank you.
really a great conversation for a dinner party, I think. So,
Yeah.
thank you all for thank you all for being with us. You see the kind of dinner parties I go to. That's why I don't get invited, I think. Thank you all for being with us. In the meantime, let's keep controlling, alt, disrupt, and keep your AI spicy.
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 Bye bye.
Yeah.